last State of the Province address. Let's go there live.
Transformation. We have also led by example, having committed 43 million rand for 14 solar PV installations on provincial government buildings, which will have a projected annual saving of just over 4 million rand once completed. These initiatives and other sources, such as the hydro plant at Steenbos Dam, have helped to reduce the grid load, providing insulation from stage 1 load shedding. However, this could not protect us from the latest stage 4 crisis, when Eskom unexpectedly dropped 4,000 megawatts from the grid. The need to drive local energy security remains as great as ever, and I call on businesses and households in the Western Cape to invest further in solar photovoltaic. We will continue our efforts to make this as easy as possible while ensuring public safety, and this is essential in order to ensure that there aren't any disasters generated by poor installations of solar PV. There has been much fanfare around the announcement by Total of a significant gas discovery off the southern coast of our country. It has been called another game changer for South Africa. However, the prospects of realizing this are still a long way off, and it is not a quick fix. A much more immediate game changer, Speaker, would be the importation of liquid natural gas, LNG, through Saldanha Bay. Firstly, this would enable Eskom to run its Atlantis power plant, Ankerlig, on gas, rather than the hugely expensive diesel, where trucks have been running non-stop during the past week at R1 million an hour. Second, liquid natural gas is a source of power coupled with renewable energy that can ensure a much greener future. Together, of course, with consistency of supply, which we have off our coastline. The water crisis, Madam Speaker, although its immediacy has been ameliorated, needs as a priority the fixing of the National Department of Water and Sanitation, and this is as urgent as the need to fix Eskom. The National Department must now move on their bulk supply mandate regarding the Clan-William Dam, the Brandvlei Dam, and the Berg River Full-Flow Augmentation Scheme. If those had been done on time, we would have been in a far better position to weather the crisis of 3 years of unprecedented drought. In the province, we have played our constitutional roles of local government oversight and particularly disaster management, and often stepped in with essential maintenance of infrastructure where the national government failed to do so on its own infrastructure. Since 2009, Madam Speaker, we have diligently overseen municipal spending of over 1.1 billion rand in grant funding for bulk water supplies, ensuring that all municipal infrastructure grants were fully spent.
Order, please.
We've cleared more than 250,000 hectares of water-sapping alien vegetation from our nature reserves.
Order. Premier, kindly take your seat, please. Member Davids, you will be afforded an opportunity at the debate. Your interjections are now becoming a running commentary. Kindly be aware that you may interject, but if it becomes a running commentary, then I need to call you to order. I'm sorry. Member Davids, be warned. I'm cautioning you about running commentary. Thank you. Premier, you may proceed. You may proceed, Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. During the worst of the drought, technical and financial support was provided to municipalities, including geohydrologists, to ensure successful groundwater interventions. This year, the Department of Local Government spent 78.2 million rand on drought-related projects. By working with residents, municipalities and NGOs, we have so far managed to prevent any town from running out of water, although Beaufort West, the Central Karoo and Kannaland remain severely stressed. We have installed groundwater systems to secure 61 critical healthcare, social development and office facilities, which will eventually supply 5.8 million litres of water per day. Water meters have been installed in 354 schools through a successful collaboration with the private sector. Together, we've achieved a total saving of 346 million litres of water, which in turn has led to a combined saving for schools of over 27 million rand in municipal bills. Speaker, no sector has felt the impact of the drought more than agriculture. Back in 2009, we passed the sector's first climate change response plan, compiled together with the industry. Since then, some truly innovative responses to climate change have evolved. I've addressed this House before on some of the technological innovations, such as the satellite-driven fruit loop, which has enabled farmers to cut water use by up to 30%. We've also introduced a method of conservation agriculture for wheat farmers, which has delivered an economic benefit of 341 million rand, with wheat production higher across the board despite the drought. We have spent over 200 million rand on direct drought relief for farmers since 2017, through a combination of provincial and national funding. This support has been particularly meaningful to emerging farmers, many of whom have remained in business due to emergency fodder supplies and other support measures. Transformation, Madam Speaker, is not a quick fix, and populist rhetoric doesn't keep emerging farmers in business under tough industry conditions. Since 2014, we have supported 357 land reform projects with over 500 million rand in funding. We also leveraged 80 million rand annually in private sector support for emerging farmers, including market access contracts and mentorship programs. The result, Madam Speaker,
Minister Windy and Member Dagmo, you cannot engage in a dialogue while the Premier is speaking. Please compose yourself. Thank you. I've called the Minister to order, as well as you, Honourable Dagmo. Do not engage each other. You will have an opportunity, or leave the room. Thank you. You may proceed, Premier. You may proceed, Honourable Premier.
I'm very pleased to hear the Opposition acknowledge that Minister Alan Winde is the Premier in waiting. Thank you very much.
Order, please, members.
Madam Speaker, of the 357 land reform projects that we have supported, 72% have been successful, compared to an estimated 10% nationally. In fact, our success rate is up despite the drought by a full 10 percentage points since the last time this independent evaluation was done in 2013. Our services to emerging farmers include training courses, mentorship, market access support, and farm development support. Drought recovery, Madam Speaker, has started, shown by the fact that our agriculture and agri-processing sectors added a combined 35,000 jobs between the third and fourth quarters of 2018, and that is truly remarkable. But despite 3 years of drought, these sectors still managed to create 10,000 extra jobs since 2015. Over the last decade, we have gone to increasing lengths to protect our people and our economy from major disasters. And there have been a very significant number. We have invested in cutting-edge technology in our Central Joint Operating Command Centre.
Member David, Premier, take your seat, please. You are really getting close to Rule 44, Honourable David. Since I cautioned you, you have made 10 interjections. I've actually been ticking off here. So it is important, and ek sien jy lag, asseblief, bedaar. Thank you. You may proceed, Honourable Premier. Member David has acknowledged. Kindly manage yourselves. Order, please. You may proceed, Premier. Honourable Makaleni, you might incur Rule 44 very quickly. Thank you. You may proceed, Premier.
Madam Speaker, we have invested in cutting-edge technology in our Central Joint Operation Command Centre, which has served us well during the drought and particularly during the annual fire season. Our expanded disaster management resources have achieved an exceptional success rate, with 95% of wildfires being brought under control within the first hour of being reported. Now, when you say 95% of wildfires, Madam Speaker, I was studying the statistics this morning, and there were over 10,000 wildfires in this fire season, and 95% of them were brought under control within the first hour of being reported. And that is an extraordinary statistic. Since 2012, we've gone from 8. Since 2012, we have gone from 8 to 26 firefighting aircraft operating across 36 runways. We have also added 10 purpose-built firefighting vehicles deployed to rural municipalities across the province.
Excuse me, the Honourable Member will have an opportunity to express his frustration in the debate, not today. Thank you. You may proceed, Premier.
We have also added 10 purpose-built firefighting vehicles deployed to rural municipalities across the province. Our resources enabled us to lead South Africa's largest firefighting effort around Knysna in 2017, during which 10,000 people were evacuated. In 2018, we combated the largest geographically spread fire in South African history, the Outeniqua fires over a front of 180 kilometres. We continue to support the City of Cape Town in their disaster relief efforts for urban fires, and we remember all those who have lost their lives and earthly belongings from Khayelitsha to Betty's Bay.
Okay, watching Premier Helen Zille delivering the State of the Province address, which seemingly is being punctuated with a lot of interjections there in Cape Town. But the gist of it, well, talking about transformation not being a quick fix. And she also spoke about these land reform projects and said out of the over 300 that they supported, about 72% have been successful, among other things.
If we're able to, we'll continue to look at the different State of the Province addresses that are currently underway. But now members